In this video, I'm going to talk just a little bit about file organization, and then we're going to look at how to install R on your computer. So in this video, I'm going to be looking at a Windows operating system. If you use a Mac, there's a separate video. So again, the first thing I want to talk just a little bit about is file organization. So if you have never thought about file organization, now is a really good time. You're going to create a ton of files for this course, so having them organized in an easy to find fashion is a pretty good idea. So if you have never actually explored the files on your computer before, the easiest way to do it is down on the bottom of your screen where you have your search. Type in File Explorer, and you'll see that it comes up. And so using the File Explorer, we can basically explore all the files on your computer. So for this course, I recommend that you use cloud storage. You can either use Google Drive or you can use OneDrive. Whichever one you choose to use, both of them offer an app that you can download on your computer, so you don't have to always go to the online version of Google Drive or OneDrive. So I have both on my computer, so here's my Google Drive, and you'll notice if I scroll down, here is my OneDrive. In both cases, I actually have Dropbox on here as well, but in both cases what you'll see is we've got OneDrive and then all of my OneDrive folders, and then my Google Drive I've got it pinned so it looks a little bit different. I actually have more folders in here. So it doesn't matter which one you use, but I would recommend getting the app so you have it on your desktop so it's easy to store your files, and you want to have it set up so that your computer syncs with whatever cloud storage you're using. If you need help with this, setting one of these up, if you've never used it before, let me know, and I'm more than happy to walk through it with you. All right, so I want to talk just a little bit about organizing your files for the course. So I'm going to show you using OneDrive. So this is my OneDrive. I don't keep a whole lot of stuff in here. So if you have never, again, thought about file organization, what I would do is I would create a new folder, and I would just call this UK Classes, and you could store all of your information for your classes in here. Now you're probably taking several classes, so then what I would do is create another new folder for this class. So now we have a folder to store all of your information in from the class. What I would not recommend doing, so as you get different note sets, different files from the course, I've noticed that some students will just keep all of that in their downloads folder, and every time they want to look at a note set again, they go and they download it again. They just keep on dumping everything into their downloads folder. You definitely don't want to do that. Instead, everything that you get from Canvas and everything you create for the course, we're going to put in the CPH 565 folder. Now within this, I'm going to suggest making a couple different subfolders. So I would make one for your notes, because you're going to get lots of different note sets, and you could put those here. I would also have another folder for your assignments. And so this would be the bare minimum that I would do for file organization in this course. I would actually take this probably a step further. We have 16 modules in this course. So within notes and assignments, I would probably make a module 1 folder, module 2 folder, and so on, so that you've got it even further organized by the modules. So that's how I would organize your files, and you'll see why as we go through the course, why this is going to become so important, because again, you're going to generate a ton of files for this course. So that's just a little bit about file organization. The next thing we're going to look at is how do you actually get Rstudio on your computer. So to do that, just brought up my internet browser, and you'll notice here we've got our Canvas course. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to download R. So you can do that by Googling R, just the capital letter R, and you'll notice the first thing that comes up is the R project for statistical computing. So we click here. And here on the left, there's lots of good information if you want to look over some of that, but you don't have to. But we do want to go to Crayon for the download. And it's going to bring you to Crayon Mirrors. Don't worry too much about the mirrors. It doesn't actually matter which one you choose. Kind of one way to think about this, if you want to get some Oreos, it doesn't matter if you go to Kroger or Meijer, you're going to get the same Oreos. Kind of the same deal here. I usually just go down and find one of the mirrors in the United States. So we can click on, for example, the Indiana University one. If you click on one and it's down, just choose another one. And then you'll notice here we have 3 different downloads, one for Linux, Mac, and Windows. Well, we're on a Windows machine, so you'll want to download for Windows. And then from here, this is what you want to install R for the first time. So you'll click here, and then you're going to download the R 4.0.3 for Windows. So you'll click here. You'll notice it'll bring up a file down here that's going to download. Once that file downloads, you can click through it, and it will walk you through the installation steps for R. Now, after you get R installed, the next thing you're going to want to install is what is called Mctech. So that is M-I-K-T-E-X. Mctech, what it's going to do is it's actually going to give us a way to nicely display our results in R and put them into documents. So the note set that you already saw earlier, that note set where I had that information about R and Rstudio and LaTeX, that was actually typed using LaTeX, and so, or in this case, the Mctech, which is a tech distribution. We don't need to worry too much about those, or it's not a computer science course, but the idea is basically we're going to type things using this instead of using Word. And the reason we're going to do that is later on you're going to see that we can nicely integrate our R code in with Mctech and we get these really nice results. So we're going to go ahead and download that. So again, we're going to go to this website. You'll notice this brings us to the project page. Up here at the top it says download. We've got some different tabs here. You're on a Windows machine, so if you just click download here. Same thing with R. It's going to download an installation file. Once that gets completely downloaded, you can click on it and it will walk you through the steps. And then the last thing we want to download is Rstudio. So again, I'm just going to Google Rstudio. It'll be the first thing that comes up, and very similar to before. So we want Rstudio. If you'll come here to products, we want the open source, and we want just Rstudio, so we're going to click here. Then if we scroll down, we want the Rstudio Desktop. And then here it has download Rstudio Desktop. So you'll download, or probably click download. We do need to choose our version. So again, we want the free version, download, and we want the download for Windows. So again, it's going to bring up that file down here. Once that gets completely downloaded, you can click on it and it will walk you through the installation steps. Now the order here is important. I would recommend installing R, then installing Mctech, and then installing Rstudio. The reason for that is if you mix up the order, Rstudio can get confused about what is called the path or how to find Mctech. So do download all 3 of them in this order. Now to know that you've had a successful installation, what should you look for? So after you've done all 3 of those, if you click on the Windows icon in the bottom left hand of your computer, if you scroll down to the R's, you should see a folder that says R. If you click down, I've got several versions on here, but you'll see that 4.0.3 version. And then if you click on Rstudio, you will see Rstudio. And if you go up to the M's, you'll see a folder for Mctech. So if you see all 3 of those, then you have successfully installed everything that you need, and you will be ready for lab on Thursday. Now, of course, if you have any problems with this whatsoever, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to help.